So full-fledged slavery is existing today in the world. There are blacks right now being traded and enslaved by Muslims in the Middle East in Libya. There is a full-fledged slave trade going on in Libya today, and not one word has come out of CNN, out of Black Lives Matter, out of Shaun King, out of Linda Sarsour, out of the left in general. Not one word about this slave trade happening. Do you know why? It is because they are people of color. It is because they are not white who is doing the oppression and slavery this time around. It is because they are Muslims who are doing it. Muslims who are supposed to be protected under the Marxist ideology that is being taught in society and schools today. See, they are a part of the oppressed, and they are not to be criticized.
The United Nations says growing numbers of African migrants passing through Libya are being sold as slaves by traffickers or militia groups before being held for ransom. The UN's migration agency interviewed West African migrants who told of being bought and sold in garages and car parks in the southern city of Sabah, one of Libya's main migrant smuggling hubs.
But just to be sure, let's go ahead and take a look online to see how many tweets exactly were fired off by some of the more prominent people on the left, some of the more outspoken people that were talking about things like Black Lives Matter and minority rights. Okay, first let's go ahead and look for the tweets by the main Black Lives Matter account on Twitter, the one with almost 300,000 followers on Twitter. The is BLK Lives Matter on Twitter. And let's go ahead and search for any of these words. Let's just go ahead and type in Libya. Just keep it simple. Libya. Let's see how many times they tweeted about the slave trade in Libya. Oh, one tweet mentioning the word Libya. And it's not even about the slave trade in Libya. It's something about the Trump's travel ban, of course. Let's go ahead and search Linda Sarsour's account. Since she loves talking about minority rights and Black Lives Matter and things like that, let's see how many times she tweeted about the slave trade happening in Libya. Any of these words, let's just type Libya and see what happens. Okay, so a lot of things have come up as far as Libya here, but it's mostly the hashtag Libya and nothing about the slave trade in Libya. All she's talking about back in 2011, these tweets were fired off. They have nothing to do with the slave trade in Libya, and she hasn't talked about it since. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Shaun King's account. You know, the guy who's been on pretty much every single news station talking about how important black lives are and how the cops need to stop killing black people. He's also tweeted out things in support of Black Lives Matter almost constantly. Let's go ahead and check his account and see how many times he's talked about Libya and the slave trade happening there. From Shaun King's account, and let's go ahead and type in Libya. Again, just keep it simple, just the word Libya. Search. Oh, what do you know? Not one goddamn tweet about Libya. You know, all these people talking about how bad Donald Trump is and how horrible and terrifying and evil our president is, but they won't mention one thing about the slave trade happening in Libya. They won't mention one thing about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, who are solely responsible for this slave trade, this civil war, and all of the atrocities that are happening in Libya today. We all know that Hillary and her State Department owns the Arab Spring that led to the fall of Gaddafi.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
We all know that the Obama administration's interventionism led to the rise of ISIS in Libya, to the rise of civil war in Libya, to the raping and killing and murdering, to the complete chaos and anarchy happening in Libya today. We all know that he's responsible for all of this. His State Department, ran by Hillary Clinton, is responsible for all of this. Why hasn't anyone come out and said anything about that on the left? We all know they're hypocrites. We all know the hypocrisy runs deep with the left and Democrats, and especially the most outspoken ones like Linda Sarsour, Black Lives Matter, Shaun King, and the likes. And I probably didn't even have to make this video, but I had to. It's just too much goddamn fun. Until next time.